Hey, comic lovers, EMoney and the old man here, and we have Thor the Dog of Thunder back with us again. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Did you miss us last week? I guess you missed us. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah. All right, so this week, got a lot to talk about. We have, well, for our pop-up shop, which we're going to get to in a little bit, we got some new arrivals, some cool new stuff to show you guys, which is going to be available for you. Also, we're talking entertainment news. A lot of stuff is going on at Marvel this month, and we need to talk about a lot of it. And also, we're going to have our comic book reviews and previews and a lot of other cool stuff going on. All right, so you ready for it? You ready for it, Thor? Yeah? Yeah? All right, so here's a little bit of life advice from your old buddy EMoney here. As Jennifer Walters learned in She-Hulk this past week, you're allowed 2 text messages for someone that you're dating or interested in. After that, the ball is in their court. Now, there's plenty of different ways that someone can get in touch with you. So, if they don't respond after 2 texts, they ghosted you and it's time to move on. This is Back Issues. Alright, so before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts of what we're going to be covering here in entertainment news, or you can just say hey. We like when people say hey. Alright, so a lot of stuff going on at Disney and Marvel Studios. Of course, as we know, the big announcement last week about Wolverine, Hugh Jackman coming back for Deadpool 3 in the coming well, I guess in the coming months and years, I guess, because it's not going to come out until 2024. But obviously, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are having a lot of fun with that because they released that second video where they, describe how the movie's going to go. But yeah, a lot of fun, and we're really excited about it. But there's other stuff going on at Marvel Studios as well.
Thank goodness, because I'm already tired of hearing about something that's not going to happen for 2 years.
All right, well. A big change came for Marvel Studios' plans for the upcoming Armor Wars project. Originally, Armor Wars was going to be a Disney
show, right?
It was going to be a Disney Plus series.
Mm-hmm.
The property is now being retooled as a feature film. So, The reason for the shakeup came down to the studio being committed to getting the story told the right way, and in that process realized that a feature was better suited for the project. So this is going to push Armor Wars further down the developmental slate or schedule. So we probably won't be getting any more updates for a while. However, despite news to the contrary, Don Cheadle is still on board to reprise the role of Road, aka War Machine, and Yasser Lester, writer, is also going to be putting the story into a feature script. Okay, you done playing around? Yeah, you're probably not. Okay, all right. So there's news on Armor Wars, and the story is actually expected to pick up after the events of Secret Invasion, and production is expected to start in early 2023. All right, so there's first project. What? I don't have no treats for you. I got scratches for you. If you want scratches. You want scratches? Yeah? You want licks? Yeah, you want licks, don't you? Okay. Alright, so Blade from Marvel Studios is undergoing some major changes and leaving us unsure if we'll see it next November. When we do, the movie may be vastly different from what was earlier described. Alright, so
same guy playing Blade?
Still the same guy.
Okay, all right.
Right. Alright, so according to the site, Blade was going to be primarily set in the 1920s with Blade squaring off against European vampires. So it sounds like the action is actually going to jump multiple periods, potentially meaning the story would follow him into the present day eventually.
I want to see me some Midnight Suns.
With any luck, it would mean that we catch up with Blade during the events of the Eternals, and finally find out why he decided to confront Dane Whitman before he could wield the Ebony Blade. So You remember we heard his voice at the end of the Eternals, which I didn't know that was him because
I didn't either.
I mean, I was told later that that's supposed to be Blade. I'm like, oh, okay. So, hopeful. I mean, I like the idea of him going through different time periods myself, other than just being in the 1920s.
But then, I guess it's going to contradict the original movie.
What original movie?
Well, the original Blade, don't they tell you when he was made? And it wasn't no 1920s.
Well, I thought I saw something in the comics where he was born in 1929. Is that okay?
Both things are been too long.
Right, but still in the works, and Blade is set at this point to hit theaters in November 3rd of 2023. But that could change.
Everything changed.
Right. All right. So next up is something about the General Ross character from Marvel Studios. So
What's he going to show up in?
well, William Hurt's health appeared to be in decline for some time before he passed away earlier this year, and that was evident the fact that VFX was used to improve his appearance in Black Widow. So they actually had to, make him look more healthy in his scenes for Black Widow. So his passing actually struck a blow to Hollywood, and obviously, William Hurt, great actor and hard to replace. And it seems that Marvel Studios isn't finished with General Ross though, for their future projects. With a movie called Thunderbolts on the horizon, and it's not really that surprising that they could potentially be introducing Red Hulk in the not so distant future. So now, one insider says that Harrison Ford may be in talks to take on the role of Thunderbolt Ross.
It'll be okay.
So the studio has considered making his involvement in the project known at D23, but didn't want to overshadow the announcements about Indiana Jones 5. So we could still be hearing that announcement in the near future. So imagine Harrison Ford not only joining the MCU, but becoming Red Hulk in a future project. All right, so Thunderbolts is still scheduled to hit theaters on July 26, 2024. Now, when they made the announcement at D23 about the cast, we didn't see anything about, General Ross, of course, and we didn't see anything about Emil Blonsky being a part of the team, but in the comics, those have both been pretty integral parts of the Thunderbolts at different times.
Hey, well, in She-Hulk, they're getting their money out of Tim Roth, I tell you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So it could be that the initial team is put together the way they said it at D23, but perhaps Ross and Blonsky joined the cast at a different time. So still a lot to think about for the future projects. All right, so that about covers entertainment news. Are you ready? You ready to move on? Yeah? All right. So let's take it downstairs and let's talk comic books. All right, comic lovers. So first up is our mentions. And I believe we have 2 books that we want to talk about this week. So
One's even an honorable mention.
Yep.
The other one is not.
No.
So you ready to start with the is not?
Yep, let's do that
All
first.
right, so keep in mind EMoney's always been a big fan of Batman, and most specifically all the different Robins. And I'd have to say, well, who do you think your favorite Robin was?
Well, I mean, Tim Drake was the Robin that I grew up with as a kid. I mean, I think he was just starting his career as Robin when I was into comic books. So I think I'd have to give it to Tim Drake.
Well, here we have Tim Drake, Robin, number 1.
Okay. So if you are a reader of DC Comics, then you'll know that they've been kind of pushing this comic book for the last few weeks and saying like, hey, it's a whole new series of Tim Drake Robin, and he says the world's greatest Robin returns and all that stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your recycling paper of the week. This comic book is an insult to the character of Tim Drake. The artwork in this comic book is absolutely atrocious. I mean, I have seen few worse things put into a comic book in my life.
Bisley, when he did those couple issues of Space Bastards, that was bad.
I did not like those issues that Bisley did, but this one definitely.
That's because it's personal to you.
But I mean, it also rivals the Bisley artwork, and the story itself is, I mean, I would say like sub-mediocre, but the artwork is so horrible that it takes away from the story.
I've always said, when it comes to a good comic book, writing is the most important part. If the artwork effectively tells a story and you don't even notice it, that's fine. It's good art. Now, if the artwork's good enough that every once in a while you stop and take a look at a panel and study it a little bit, that's bonus. But if the artwork detracts from the story, then you got a problem.
And I'm going to see if you guys can see like one of the pages here and see how this artist does Robin and the other characters. I mean, it's ugh.
Not your cup of tea?
No. And, you know, the artwork on the cover here, I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect, but if the artist for the cover had actually done the comic, then it might not have been so bad. I mean, it would have been acceptable. But, you know, the artist who actually did do the comic is, no. We will not be getting the second issue of Tim Drake Robin, much as it pains me, because like I said, you know, I do like Tim Drake's Robin.
You were looking forward to this, weren't you?
A little bit, yeah. So, Tim Drake Robin, #1, not getting issue #2, ranks with 2 shields out of 5. And the only reason it got that score, the old man was much more generous than I was.
A little more generous.
Okay.
Couldn't have been much more generous if it only got 2 shields.
So, you've been warned.
Damn. All right, next up, we'll go the other way. This is your honorable mention. Number 9 out of 12, DC versus Vampires. It's been a good read.
Okay, so this is one of the examples the old man and I have of great story, okay artwork, which is why it doesn't rank in the top 3, because it's okay. All right, so story-wise, you know, if you've been reading, you know that the world has mostly been taken over by vampires.
Yeah, it ain't looking good for old Homo sapiens.
No. And in Smallville is where there's different, I guess you would call them hives or gangs of vampires around the world. One of them has set up shop in Smallville, and it's led by Beast, who has been turned into a vampire.
See, it makes me sad because we just picked up the issue of Showcase, which was the introduction or the first issue with Beast. I used to love that character. He only got like a couple of issues, then they gone, but I liked him.
Well, Oliver, Green Arrow, has taken it upon himself to hunt down these different vampires all over the world.
Doing a hell of a job, too, for just a mundane.
Yep, and taking them out wherever he can. Also, meanwhile, a motley crew of heroes and former villains, some of them former villains, are on a mission to get Kara, Supergirl, to an outpost of survivors. And it needs to be mentioned at this point that Kara is depowered. She lost her power somehow.
So you're basically saying she's pretty much Betty from the Archies.
Okay.
I mean, she's just a girl. That's it.
So, while they're trying to get her there, they are attacked by Aquaman, who has been turned into a vampire. And, you know, he does the, whole, join me or die speech. And the motley crew that I'm talking about here, you got Kara, you've got John Henry Irons, a person dressed as Black Mantis, but is not Black Mantis, and one of the Wonder Twins.
Hate me some Wonder Twins.
And when Aquaman makes this ultimatum to him, this crew of heroes, they a lot of them, they make a series of really dumb decisions here. So, and also it is revealed who is wearing Black Mantis's old armor. So, some cool reveal there. And, just, good story overall. You're looking forward to see how they wrap this up. And like I said, it's just the okay artwork is what keeps it out of contention for the top 3. So DC versus Vampires, number 9 out of 12, ends up with
3.5 shields after we rounded it up.
3.5 rounded up. All right. Oh, hang on. Let's.
We're not doing it right.
Right, I know. Well, I didn't want to give Tim Drake Robin a stand because it doesn't deserve a stand.
All right, well, we need 3 now.
Okay. But DC versus Vampires, it could have had a stand if I had thought about it. All right. Now we're ready. Okay.
Top 3. Number 3. From DC's horror line, we have one of my favorite all-time characters, which is Sergeant Rock of Easy Company. And this book is Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, number 1 of 6, written by, who else should be writing about zombies, but Bruce Campbell.
I mean, in an old life, I would have said, I forgot his name. Romero, yeah.
George A. Romero.
Yeah.
But he's left the building.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, old Brucey Boy wrote this. Now, Mr. Campbell, no one's going to argue your knowledge about zombies.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that, and you did fine here. But you need to read about at least 100 copies of Old Army at War with Sergeant Rock in it. Because one of the best parts about Sergeant Rock was his combat happy Joes of Easy Company. And they were characters you had. Wild Man, Jackie Johnson, Little Sure Shot, Bulldozer, Ice Cream Soldier, Four Eyes. All these characters that all had their own personalities and they developed, and some of them died. So that was the strong part to Sergeant Rock. Now you've taken Sergeant Rock, Easy Company's with him, but you only mentioned one guy by name, and that's Dozer. You don't even call him Bulldozer. Now there's some other guys there. The one guy could be Jackie Johnson. Who knows? Let's get those names in there. Come on. But anyway, this is a pretty good read.
All right. So in this story, Sergeant Rock, as working in the over the line, across behind the lines. There you go. Behind the lines, and he's working a pretty mundane task, doing traffic patrol in a city nearby.
Well, Easy Company's on stand down. They're on R&R.
Right. So during this, he's called back to headquarters, and HQ is looking to put him on a new mission. And the Allies have discovered that in one of Hitler's experiments, he has found out how to raise the dead back to life.
Of course he did.
Or, sort of raise them back to life. Hence, zombies. So they put together a team who's put on a new mission to combat these new monsters that Hitler's using. And the headquarters shows the soldiers some new technology that they've been using. And, it's a little ahead of its time. For example, night vision and thermal imaging. Something that certainly was not available during World War II.
They're going to have a hard time getting that stuff away from them when the mission's over.
Mm-hmm. So then they find out just how difficult it is to put one of these undead soldiers down. And
when do zombies become super strong? It's like they're fighting the thing.
It is no easy feat. So interesting to see how they go from here. So Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, number 1 of 6 by Bruce Campbell, and it comes in at our number 3 spot with
3.5 shields.
3.5 shields
By
out of
the
5.
way, in case you're wondering, yeah, there was a tie. And this week we broke the tie. What was the name of that game? Mystery Mansion?
Mystery Mansion.
Where did you even get that? We don't own that. Now he's taken to borrowing games to beat the old man. And he did. I barely knew what I was doing, that stupid game. But anyway, he won. So you don't like the order of number 2 and 3. Yeah.
All right.
Number 2,
Mhm.
a book that's been in our top 3, I think, every single issue. From Image Comics, 8 Billion Genies, number 5 of 8.
Okay. Another example of, great story, okay artwork. All right, so in this story, we are introduced to a guy named Floyd. He goes by the name Idea Man, and we see his origin story in the first few pages here. Now, Floyd, throughout his entire life, has had these ideas about things, and no one has wanted to listen to him.
You know, he sounds like Michael Keaton in an old movie with him and Henry Winkler called Night Shift, where they decide they're going to become pimps working out of where the dead people are.
More?
Out of the morgue. And Michael Keaton's going around saying, I get ideas all the time. I can't keep them in. They're just jumping out, just idea after idea after idea. I can't help myself. That's what this guy sounds like.
Okay. So, he runs for student council president, and he gets almost 0 votes. At work, he pitches an idea at a meeting, and everyone's like, oh, there's 10 minutes of my life I'll never get back. He proposes to a woman, and she's like, Floyd, I don't think this is such a good idea. And then he goes to city council, and, he has an idea about things, and, it sounds like he goes here a lot, and, the city council never wants to listen to him. So then, G-Day happens, all the genies show up, and, the genie explains to him, how it works, and almost immediately Floyd says, I wish people would believe in me. So, Genie's like, interesting, all right, let's see how this works out. So then you flash forward to where we are 8 months into G-Day, and we find out that Floyd, or the Idea Man, is running this oasis of humanity, and pretty much the whole world's been wiped out except for these little pockets of humanity where people are still living because, people have made all these stupid wishes. And they even said, like earlier, the genie said that they didn't go for all these, any of these Armageddon type wishes and, things that will, wipe out thousands of people. And the genie explains, generally speaking, you're right, we don't do that kind of thing. Normally, we'd find a way to minimize the effects of a wish like that, localize it perhaps. But sometimes people word their wish so precisely that it takes away our agency to adjust it as we see fit. So that's why a lot of the earth has been wiped out now. People have worded their Armageddon wishes in such a way. So there's all these oases of
Groups, pockets
of humanity where everything's protected, like the bar that we were first introduced to in the first issue. Only some people have elected to make them bigger. Well, Floyd is in charge of one of these places, and he has several genies under his power, which I think after his wish, people will believe in him. People have turned over their genies to him. And now he has...
Not going to happen with me.
So he has all these genies and different wishes to work with. So that's where we are in 8 Billion Genies, issue number 5 of 8. Some interesting stuff going on. So 5 of 8, and it's our number 2 pick for this week. And it comes in at 3.5. Right.
All right. Now, remember how we were talking about can't seem to get a book with good writing and good art? Well, here's a book with pretty good writing and pretty good art. And it's Batman Fortress number 5.
All right. So, in Batman Fortress, there was an alien invasion, and the heroes of Earth fought back against them, and most of them have been captured by this species of aliens, and Superman has been missing since the onset of this. So, Batman has tried to find the fortress in order to try to find Superman. Well, the fortress wasn't where it was supposed to be, in the North Pole. So now he somehow found it. I forgot what he did to find it, but
He's Batman.
right. And the fortress somehow ended up at the bottom of the ocean. And when I say the bottom of the ocean, I mean like the bottom. It's like you go down to the bottom of the ocean, and then
Take a left and go deeper.
yeah, take a left and you see a trench along the bottom, and then you go down the trench. And that's the bottom I'm talking about. So, it's going to be pretty hard to get down there, right?
You would think.
Mm-hmm. So, Batman...
With Batman, it's merely an inconvenience.
So, Batman puts together a team here to get down to the trench. And it includes Aqualad, who has, hydrokinetic powers.
Right.
Basically, he controls the water. You got a Green Lantern named Dale. Speedy, of all people. Not sure why you need Speedy. A strapping crew of U.S. Navymen aboard a submarine. And none other than President Luthor himself.
Well, you got to take the Prez on a dangerous mission like this.
Right. So they are all going down to the bottom of the ocean to find Superman's fortress. And then hopefully find Superman himself. So Batman Fortress number 5, our number 1 pick for this week, with 4 shields out of 5. All right, there's our top 3 pick. Get them at your local comic book shop now if you haven't already. Now, old man, what is our recommendations for this week?
All right, this week, well, they're not necessarily recommendations because we haven't read them yet,
Sure.
but it's things we're looking forward to. The Joker gets a new book. It's called The Man Who Stopped Laughing.
All right.
Sounds interesting. Marvel's been pushing a character called Miracle Man, which was, I don't know, was he with Comico, he was with Eclipse, he was some other company. And Marvel acquired the rights to him. And for a couple months now, some of the variants have had Miracle Man on the cover. Well, Miracle Man number 0 comes out, so the mystery's finally over.
Okay.
For those of us who've never read a copy of Miracle Man. Also, we got Amazing Spider-Man number 1. They did a new launch on Amazing Spider-Man number 1.
Right.
Well, now we're getting Spider-Man number 1.
Okay.
Which I assume is going to be the same universe.
All right.
I hope.
Is Todd McFarlane doing it this time?
No.
No. Okay.
And also, what was the name of, I think it was an Image comic where the guy was radioactive and he wandered around the desert.
Oh, Geiger?
Geiger, that's right. Spinning out of Geiger, we have Junkyard Joe, number 1. So, interesting stuff coming out.
All right. So get them at your local comic book shop now. All right, so that does it for previews and reviews. Now, let's take a look at what you can expect at this weekend's sales from EMoney and the Old Man. All right, so this weekend is our pop-up comic shop, Saturday. It's going to be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Note our change in hours. And it is
October the 8th.
October the 8th. All right, so note the change in hours, 10 to 2, and we have 3 more pop-up comic shops this season. And then we're going to close up for the season. And at the end of October, we're going to have our Creature Feature show, and we're going to get to more of that in just a second here. And if you haven't been to our sale in the last few weeks, guys, we have got so much new stuff to show you. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, we have acquired hundreds of new comic books. People coming to the house wanting to sell stuff to us, and we've gotten stuff from other places. All kinds of new comic books. A lot of great key issues for you as well. So you need to come by if you haven't been in the last few weeks, because we got all kinds of new stuff to show you. And I'm going to show you just 4 here. I mean, there's so much stuff I want to show you guys. I can't do it all in the show.
I'm curious as to what you pulled.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it in descending order of how cool I think they are.
All right.
From still pretty cool, but least cool to coolest is how I'm going to do this, all right?
All right, absolutely. What do you got? What's the first one?
All right, so first up, you have Batman number 357, and this is a key issue because it is the first cameo appearance of Jason Todd, the second Robin, and also the second cameo appearance of Killer Croc. So a lot of stuff going on in Batman comics at this time. All right, so yeah, that one. Now this one is really cool. You have Uncle Scrooge number 219. Now, what makes this one so cool is it's a fairly iconic cover to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, you have it's signed by Louisville legend Don Rosa.
On the cover and at the bottom of the splash page.
Right, so twice signed by Don Rosa. And not only that, but it also includes an original sketch of Uncle Scrooge by Don Rosa right here.
When Don did conventions, he would always have some sketches ready to finish off and hand out to people, which is obviously what one of these is.
Yeah, I saw him at Chicago like a month or two ago and did the same thing. Yeah.
Well, the personal connection is Don went to the same high school that I did. He was in my sister's class. He was 2 years older than me. So we've known each other for years. I've been to his house a couple of times. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah. So, really cool collectible to have. Uncle Scrooge number 219, twice signed by Don Rosa and original sketch. All right, so next up, we have, She-Hulk is really hot right now because, the show's out and, people are looking to get She-Hulk collectibles. Well, we have one right here. This is She-Hulk, Savage She-Hulk, number 1.
And I think we have 2 other number 1 She-Hulks in our inventory right now.
Sensational She-Hulk and She-Hulk 2014 number 1. And this is the first appearance and origin of She-Hulk. So that's a cool one to have. And then finally, a lot of you guys are going to love this. We have DC Comics Presents number 47. Superman and the Masters of the Universe.
Now, this was the first time that He-Man and his buddies were in comic book form.
Mm-hmm. And I know it's been highly sought after by a lot of people. I think I remember at least 2 occasions where someone came to the pop-up shop and asked us if we have it.
Well, now we do.
We have it now.
Come get some.
Yep. And like I said, guys, we have so many key issues that we've gotten over the last few weeks. I can't show them to y'all. But come by the pop-up shop, and also check our ads because I've listed a lot of the key issues there. So be sure to check them out on Craigslist and on Facebook Marketplace. All right, so that is. Oh, I almost forgot because I got so excited about the comic books. We have toys as well.
Oh, we do have toys.
Yeah,
don't we? Yeah,
we do have toys. Yeah,
yeah, toys.
All right, so comic books. Now, show you guys some of the cool toys we have available. All right, so first up, we have some Marvel Legend box sets for you guys. First up, we have Young Avengers Marvel Legends. And this box set includes Iron Lad, the Patriot, Hulkling, and Asgardian. So that's a cool collectible to have in your Marvel Legends sets. Another Marvel Legend set for you. We have the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four collection. And this has all kinds of cool figures. It has Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, The Thing, Doctor Doom, and as a bonus, you get
Franklin.
Almost forgot. Yeah, Franklin Richards right here.
And I think I saw Herbie, the damn robot.
I forgot his name for a second. Yeah, Herbie the Robot.
I slapped me some Herbie.
Who is, of course, a beloved member of the Fantastic Four, right?
They replaced him. They replaced the Human Torch with Herbie.
Yep.
Now, everybody thinks it's because they were afraid kids were going to light themselves on fire. It was actually just some silly licensing problem.
Mm-hmm. Someone had the license for Human Torch at that time because they thought they were going to turn him in to a TV show like The Incredible Hulk, but it never happened. So they came up with Herbie to replace him on the cartoon show.
Sad replacement.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have these available, and also we just got these in this past week. We have some new, or new for us, X-Men Toy Biz figures. and I'll show you guys some of the cooler ones right here. This one we've never had before. We have the Phoenix from the Phoenix Saga, and another one we've never had, Strong Guy.
Because he's strong?
Now, from 0 being the strength of an average human to 100% being, Hulk at, average time, where does Strong Guy's power level rank?
He's probably in there with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Okay. All right.
Pretty strong.
Okay. So we got Strong Guy. And one last one I'll show you here because a lot of people, look for him. We have Gambit.
Gambit.
Yeah, a lot of people, like to collect Gambit. Before you ask, no, I don't have Deadpool in here. A lot of people ask about Deadpool whenever we pull out the Marvel stuff. Huh?
There was a Deadpool.
Yep, it's on the back here. Yep, right there. So, yeah, X-Force Deadpool. It does exist, but we don't have it.
And we're not getting it with that next collection?
Nope. We got another collection we're getting later this week. Not going to have it then either. Unless she surprises us. All right, so I'm going to have all kinds of cool stuff this Saturday. Come by the pop-up shop, 7002 Brookbend Way, this Saturday, 10 to 2. All right, so now that covers the pop-up shop. Now, tell you guys what you can expect at this week's Whatnot sale. Well, Whatnot is, I don't want to have these on screen when I'm talking about Whatnot and give you guys the wrong idea.
Because these won't be on Whatnot.
Yeah. These Marvel Legends are too big to ship for Whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're kind of big.
Theoretically we could, but
Don't want to.
Yeah. All right. So Whatnot, we're gonna have. The first few weeks we tried to do themes, but I find that we've had the most success doing Whatnot auctions when we just kind of mix it up.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, throw in everything. Most of our Whatnot auctions, it's, I would say about 65 to 70% Marvel stuff with DC and other stuff thrown in.
And it's all action figures, right?
Yes, it's all
occasionally
action
something
figure.
different.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's all action.
It's action figures. So just to give you guys an idea, like I said, a lot of Marvel. Somebody asked about Spawn stuff last week, and the old man and I were swimming in Spawn, so we'll include a few of those figures. Yeah, we got a lot of them, and we'll throw some DC stuff in there as well. And
the reason we were just going to throw some in, we don't have as much DC as we do Marvel.
Right, and a lot of the stuff we save for the pop-up shop as well.
And you might find stuff like Creed. We need to bring another Creed toy.
Yeah. We did pretty well with some X-Files figures last week. So
surprised me.
Yeah, we'll throw a few of those in too. Sci-Fi Television had a really bad showing last week, with the exception of X-Files.
X-Files did good. Every other sci-fi figure, nope.
Sci-Fi Television, just
nope.
So we're going to cut those out for a while. All right, so our Whatnot auction, you download the Whatnot app and be sure to follow us on there. It's EMoney and the Old Man, no spaces. And our auction is going to be Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to stop by. All right, I think that covers everything. Oh, like I mentioned, the last weekend in October, I believe it's going to be the 29th and the 30th, the Old Man and I are going to be in Shelbyville, Kentucky for Creature Feature.
Shepherdsville.
What did I say? Shelbyville?
Yeah.
Shepherdsville. Sorry, don't go to Shelbyville. Shepherdsville, Kentucky. And we are going to be part of the Creature Feature show there. And this is going to be our first auction, or not auction, our first show as dealers. And we're going to be bringing, the Old Man, he did a lot of these shows back in the day when I was a kid. But he hasn't done one in a while. I've never done one myself, so it's going to be interesting.
You might be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. So we're going to be bringing a lot of our toys, and also we're going to be bringing our good books. And by good books, I mean our books that are $10 and up. We're not going to be bringing any of our what we call frontline stuff, or $2 to $9 items, or any of our dollar items either. So our good books and a lot of our toys we're going to be bringing, and be sure to, and we're going to be doing a lot of our bigger items
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that if these don't sell between now and then, we're going to be bringing those, and things that are we don't really want to ship them through whatnot. Also, we're going to try to do some horror stuff because it's going to be Halloween weekend. So we're going to bring our Puppet Master, Tortured Souls. I might throw in a few Spawn items. Just try to keep have a little bit of a theme going.
And I know it's not Halloween related, but we're going to bring a bunch of Marvel Legends.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I've been saving the Marvel Legends for Creature Feature. If we go do Creature Feature and we have a lot of Marvel Legends left over, we'll mix them back into the Whatnot auctions after that. All right, so come join us for all that, guys. All right. That being said, I think we covered about everything, so let's head upstairs with Thor again. Alright, back out here with Thor. So, just like with the many things I do with Thor, I actually saw this on Instagram or TikTok a few times, and so I thought I would do it with Thor to see how he does. Alright, so...
What are you going to do? Tell me first.
I am going to go Cobra Kai on Thor.
Oh my God.
And see how he does. Whoa! This is our doggy challenge video of the week. You are also well trained. The direct approach. I respect that.
Now you're not going to get any comment. Oh, look at you. Look at you. That deserves a treat.
Alright, so that's going to do it for this week's episode. So remember, Pop-Up Comic Shop this Saturday, 10 to 2. Like we said, we got a lot of cool new stuff for you guys, so come by and check it out. And Whatnot Auction this Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us for both. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Excelsior.
True believers, can you tell it's getting a bit nippy out here?